For every swing, every moment, the Milwaukee Brewers fight. It's not just about hitting the ball, it's about leaving a legacy.
A decision that could make or break our October is happening right now, but it comes with a sacrifice. The front office has to make a choice that will split the Brew Crew's opinion. I have the inside details on this roster shakeup. To get the full story, subscribe and hit the bell now. You need to hear this. Welcome back to your #1 news channel for everything Milwaukee Brewers. It's me, your host, always bringing you the hottest inside information and the most in-depth analysis you won't find anywhere else. Before we dive into today's news, which has serious implications for our final stretch of the season and the playoffs, I need to ask for that usual favor. If you're a die-hard fan like me and want to get the information firsthand with the serious, straight-to-the-point analysis we do here, please hit that subscribe button and turn on the notification bell. That way, you won't miss a thing. Your support is what allows us to keep bringing exclusive, detailed content about our favorite team. I'm counting on you. All right, let's get down to business. The front office made a move today that at first glance seems routine, but in my opinion reveals a great deal about the team's strategy for the most crucial moment of the season. Our first baseman and outfielder, Jake Bauers, has been officially sent to the Nashville Sounds, our AAA affiliate, to begin his rehab assignment. For those who don't remember, Bauers has been on the injured list since July 20th with a shoulder contusion. He's already eligible to return, and this stint in Nashville should be short just to get his timing back at the plate. Now, the million-dollar question, and one the front office is surely asking itself, is, with the team playing at this level, what exactly will Jake Bauers' role be when he returns? And more importantly, who is going to give up their spot on the 26-man roster? Let's analyze the facts with the depth the situation demands. When Bauers got injured, there was a real concern about offensive production from first base, especially against right-handed pitchers, which is Bauers' specialty. However, what has happened since then is something not even the most optimistic of fans could have predicted: the meteoric rise of Andrew Vaughn. The kid not only took over the starting first base job, but has become one of the most important and consistent pieces in our lineup. He's not just hitting, he's destroying the ball. Over the last 6 weeks, Vaughn is batting over $300 with an OPS flirting with 900. And what's most impressive is that he's shown power and plate discipline against pitchers from both sides, including right-handers. Vaughn's exceptional performance has turned what was a weakness into one of our strengths. The team has clicked, the chemistry is high, and the wins are piling up. We're in the middle of a heat wave, both in the city and on the field, and the team's energy is infectious. So with this scenario, Bauers' return creates a dilemma, a good problem. As executives like to say, Bauers before the injury was having a, let's say, modest season. In 59 games, he posted a .197 batting average, a .522 OPS, and 5 home runs. His BWAR was exactly 0.0, which means statistically he was a replacement level player. He wasn't hurting us, but he wasn't the guy winning games for us either, with the exception, of course, of that memorable home run last October that we all cherish. That moment showed the clutch potential he possesses. The front office and the coaching staff don't forget moments like that, especially with the playoffs looming. The thing is, baseball is a game of momentum, and the momentum right now belongs to Andrew Vaughn. Forcing Bauers into the starting lineup could potentially disrupt Vaughn's rhythm and the offensive dynamic that has been working so well. Therefore, it's almost certain that Bauers will return in a different role than the one he left: a bench specialist, a left-handed power bat for pinch hit situations in late innings, and a versatile defender for strategic rotations. Roster depth is what separates teams that make the playoffs from those that win the World Series. Having a player like Jake Bauers with his experience and latent power as a weapon on the bench is a luxury few teams can afford. He offers our manager, Pat Murphy, incredible tactical flexibility. Imagine a tight game situation in the 8th inning with a dominant right-handed pitcher on the mound and runners on base. Having the option to call on Bauers, a left-handed hitter who is one swing away from changing the game, is a massive competitive advantage. Furthermore, his ability to play both first base and the corner outfield spots allows Murphy to make late-game defensive substitutions without sacrificing offensive power if needed. This is exactly the type of piece that becomes indispensable in the postseason, where every single matchup can decide a series. So while his regular season stats may not jump off the page, his strategic value for a title run is undeniable, and that's why the front office is ensuring he's healthy and ready to contribute. The second part of this analysis, and perhaps the more complex one, is the inevitable roster crunch that Bauers' return will create. Baseball is a numbers game, not just on the scoreboard, but also in roster construction. With 26 spots available, the addition of one player invariably means the removal of another. This is where the team's management needs to be surgical. The first move has already been made. Tyler Black, who was called up when Bauers got hurt and had some good showings, has already been sent back to AAA. It was an understandable decision aimed at opening up a spot and ensuring Black continues to get regular playing time for his development rather than sitting on the major league bench. However, Bauers' return will require one more move, and all eyes are turning to infielder Anthony Seigler. Seigler has been a useful utility piece, a gap filler, but his role is less defined and his offensive impact is considerably lower compared to the other options on the roster. In a scenario where every spot is precious, he appears to be the most logical candidate to be optioned to Nashville to make room for Bauers. Now, we need to discuss a crucial technical detail that adds a layer of tension to this decision. Jake Bauers is out of minor league options. For the fan who isn't familiar with the term, this means the Brewers cannot simply send Bauers down to AAA without him first clearing waivers. In other words, if the front office decided there was no room for him on the 26-man roster, they would have to designate him for assignment, DFA, which would make him available to any other team in the MLB that wanted to claim him. Given his established power as a left-handed hitter and his relatively low salary, it's almost a guarantee that another team would claim him. It would be a huge and, in my assessment, unacceptable risk. Losing an asset like Bauers for nothing, especially on the eve of the playoffs, would be a monumental strategic failure. He may not be a star, but he's the kind of depth player that championship teams possess. Therefore, the possibility of him being cut is, in my opinion, virtually zero. He will be on the 26-man roster. This brings us back to the overall strategy. Bauers' return isn't just about adding a healthy body, it's about armor plating the team for the challenges of October. The regular season is a marathon, but the playoffs are a series of high-intensity sprints. You need answers to every question the game might ask you. What if Vaughn goes into a slump? Bauers is the insurance. What if we need a clutch home run against a specialist righty reliever late in a game? Bauers is the weapon. What if an unexpected injury happens to one of our outfielders? Bauers is the cover. What the Brewers front office is doing is stockpiling firepower and versatility. They are looking at the postseason chess match and ensuring they have all the necessary pieces on the board. The team's recent performance, with consistent wins and an offense that seems capable of scoring runs in multiple ways, only reinforces the idea that the foundation is solid. The addition of a specialist like Bauers is the finishing touch, the fine-tuning to turn a good team into a truly dangerous one that's hard to beat in a short series. So to conclude my analysis on this main story, Jake Bauers' return is imminent, and while he likely won't reclaim a starting role, his presence on the roster is strategically vital for the Milwaukee Brewers' title aspirations. He adds depth, a left-handed power off the bench, and valuable insurance against injuries or performance slumps. The roster crunch his return creates is a real problem, but one the front office would surely rather have than not have the options Bauers provides. The decision on who will yield the final spot will be difficult but necessary to fortify the team for the battle ahead. Now, I want to hear from you, the Brew Crew. What's your take on all of this? Do you think Bauers will have a significant impact down the stretch, or will he just be a security piece on the bench? And who do you think should be the player to give up their roster spot for his return? Leave your opinions, theories, and even your hot takes down in the comments. I read them all. And don't forget, for more deep dive analysis and the fastest breaking news on the Brewers, make sure you're subscribed to the channel with notifications turned on. The road to October is heating up, and you're not going to want to miss a single detail. I'll see you on the next one.